In the previous video, we explored an astonishing fact. When your dog looks into your eyes, both of you trigger a powerful biological bonding loop. That's why many people find a dog's gaze sincere, innocent, and loving. But today, I want to pose a question that might frustrate many dog owners. What happens when that bonding becomes too strong? What happens when every pitiful glance, every little whimper, every gentle nudge makes you instantly give in? Is that still the required situation? Or has your dog been unknowingly manipulated without you realizing it? There's an incredibly fine line between a loving dog and a dog that's running the house. And if you've ever sat still because your dog wouldn't tolerate it, ever woken up in the middle of the night because of a small noise, or ever felt guilty saying no, then this video might make you reevaluate your entire relationship with your dog. Part 1. The Art of Negotiation and Control. The Art of Negotiation and Control. Signature 10. Craving rice for noodles. You put the bowl of food down, the dog walks over, sniffs it, looks at you, then turns away. It's like you just served the worst meal in history. At first, you think maybe they're not hungry today, but then you add some meat, or some cheese, and a miracle happens. The bowl is empty in seconds. It sounds adorable, but what's really happening might surprise you. Your dog isn't just choosing the tastier food, it's learning to negotiate. Every time you change the menu after they refuse food, you're inadvertently teaching them a very simple rule. Just wait long enough, and humans will upgrade the service. And once they figure that out, the negotiations have only just begun. Signature 9. The four-legged alarm clock. 3 a.m. The whole house is silent. Then suddenly, a cold nose touches your hand. A small whimper sounds beside the bed. You immediately jump up, because all you think is, something's wrong. But a few minutes later, you realize the victim is perfectly healthy. They just want you to stay awake with them, or want a free late-night snack. And the amazing thing is, if this happens regularly, the fault isn't with the dog, it's with the system they've learned. They discovered that simply making the right sound at the right time, they could command a creature several dozen kilograms heavier than themselves to immediately stand up and serve. That's no small power, but that's nothing compared to the next sign. Sign 8. The guest on your own sofa. You buy the sofa, you pay for it, you put it in the living room, but somehow, you're the one who has to huddle on the edge of the sofa, while the four-legged boss lies in the middle of the sofa as if it owns the controlling stake in the house. Many people think this is harmless, and sometimes it is, but pay attention to their reaction when you ask them to move aside. Do they reluctantly stand up? Or worse, do they growl, get annoyed, or look at you as if you've just invaded their territory? If that happens, the problem isn't the chair anymore. It's the belief that human space is optional, my space is inviolable, and if a dog starts thinking like that, it will often develop another behavior. A behavior that many owners unknowingly turn into a daily habit. Signature 7. The service button barking. Barking to open the door, barking to throw a ball, barking to get a toy, barking because you're on the phone instead of paying attention to them. At first, it's just one bark, then 2 barks, then 3 barks, and finally, you get up and do exactly what they want. That's the moment everything changes, because in the dog's brain, a crucial conclusion had just been formed. This sound works. From then on, barking was no longer simply communication. It became a button, and each time you reacted immediately, you were confirming that the button was still working perfectly. But the important thing is, the signals just mentioned only concerned food, sleep, and attention. In the next section, we'll talk about something even bigger. Who is actually leading whom in this relationship? Part 2. Loss of control in communication. Signature 6. Who is leading whom? The door just opened, and in a split second, you go from owner to passenger. The dog lunges forward. The leash is taut like a tug-of-war rope. You're dragged from one bush to another as if you were in a race you never signed up for. Many people laugh. Haha, it's just too excited. But look a little deeper. A dog always pulling a leash isn't just going for a walk. It's making decisions. Where to go, where to stop, what to smell, how long. And you simply follow. The issue isn't about strength. It's about self-control. Because a very simple rule exists in their minds. What I want. I must have it now. No waiting. No holding back. No caring who's holding the leash. And when that mindset comes up during a walk, it often comes up inside the house too. Signature 5. The overly loving jump. The doorbell rings. A visitor walks in. And then, boom. A 20 or even 30 kilograms dog lunges straight into their chest like a furry rocket. People usually laugh. Haha, it's so affectionate. But imagine that happening to a small child, an elderly person, or someone afraid of dogs. Suddenly, the story isn't cute anymore. It's noteworthy that these dogs usually don't try to do anything bad. They simply haven't been taught that excitement isn't always a license to act. They haven't learned how to stop. They haven't learned how to control their emotions. And most importantly, they haven't learned that others also have the right to their own space. A balanced dog will greet. A spoiled dog will invade. It sounds harsh, but the next sign is even clearer, because it's directly related to power. Sign 4. The bonus hunter. Try to remember the last time you called, "Come here," and your dog looked at you, then decided to ignore you, but just shake the treat pouch. A miracle happened. The response speed increases tenfold. Suddenly, they become the most exemplary student in the world. It sounds funny, but this is where many pet owners inadvertently fall into a trap, because rewards are designed to support learning, not to replace cooperation. If every command requires a payment, then it's no longer obedience. It's a negotiation, and your dog has become a professional negotiator. In their head, they might be thinking, "I know you want me to do that." But the question is, how much will you pay? And if those signs sound familiar, then the next part is the most important, because the real problem isn't with the dog. It's with the psychology of the person who always feels guilty about saying a very simple word, no. Part 3. The psychology of the master and the obedient. Sign 3. Allergy to the word no. Try doing something simple. Tell your dog, no. No treats, no food, no going on the sofa, no doing what they want. What happens next? Some dogs will accept. They might be a little disappointed, but then they'll calm down. And others, they bark, they scratch the door, they whine. They look at you as if you've betrayed their friendship. And that's when you realize something. Maybe the problem isn't that they want something. It lies in their inability to accept not having it. Just as muscles need exercise to become stronger, the ability to tolerate disappointment also needs training. But if every demand is met, that muscle will never develop. An emotionally mature dog knows how to wait. A spoiled dog believes every wish must be fulfilled immediately. And when that goes on for too long, they start wanting more than just food or toys. They want the most valuable thing in the house, your attention. Sign 2. Managing your attention 24/7. You're answering emails. A head pops up on the keyboard. You're looking at your phone. A paw gently nudges your hand. You're talking to someone else. And suddenly, a toy is dropped right at your feet. Sounds familiar? At first, these actions seem incredibly cute. But ask yourself, who decides when the interaction begins? You or your dog? A confident and secure dog can lie down for hours without constant attention. They understand that the world is fine, even without anyone to play with. But a spoiled dog often thinks differently. They believe that every quiet moment is a problem that needs solving. And your job is to cater to that need. Interestingly, most owners recognize this. They know they are being managed. They know they are giving in. But they continue to do so. Why? The answer lies in the final sign. And also the most important sign. Sign 1. The pain called guilt. This is no longer a story about the dog. This is a story about you. Because in many cases, the dog isn't the one having the problem. The one having the problem is the owner. You know you should set boundaries. You know you shouldn't give in. You know that saying no is sometimes necessary. But then, you see that look in its eyes. You hear that little whimper. And guilt sets in. A voice in your head starts whispering. Am I being too strict? Will it be sad? Will it love me less? And so you give in again. But this is something many dog owners don't understand. Dogs don't measure love by the number of times you say yes. They measure safety by consistency. A constantly changing owner makes a dog anxious. A consistent owner makes a dog feel secure. Because in nature, safety doesn't come from getting everything they want. Safety comes from knowing what's coming next. And that's why a truly happy dog doesn't need a life without limits. They need a guide. Someone they can trust. Someone loving enough to say no when necessary. And that's where so many people confuse love and spoiling. After all the signs mentioned above, perhaps the most important thing to remember is a spoiled dog is not a bad dog, and certainly not a bad dog. In many cases, it's simply a dog trying to adapt to the rules we ourselves have inadvertently created. Because every time they demand and get what they want, every time they exert pressure and succeed, every time they refuse to wait and still get what they want, they are learning a lesson. But not a lesson about calmness, not a lesson about self-control. It's a lesson about control. And that's the moment many dog owners realize a rather surprising truth. Love and pampering are not the same thing. Love is helping your dog get what they need. Praise is constantly giving them what they want. The two are sometimes completely different. A truly happy dog doesn't need to win every demand. They don't need to own the sofa. They don't need to control their meal times. They don't need to control the whole family's schedule. What they really need is clarity. They need consistent boundaries. They need to feel that there is someone trustworthy enough to guide them. So if you notice some of the signs in today's video, don't feel guilty. Don't think you've done something wrong. Start with small changes. Reward them when they are calm. Encourage patience. Stop responding to every request immediately. And most importantly, remember that sometimes saying no is also a way of showing love. Because a balanced dog isn't one that always gets what it wants. It's one that feels safe, even when waiting. If this video made you see your dog in a different light, let us know in the comments. What signs do you recognize most in your dog? And if you found today's topic interesting, don't miss the next video, because in that video, we'll explore something even more surprising. Does your dog truly love you? Or are they just seeing you as part of their pack? The answer might completely change how you understand the relationship between humans and dogs. See you in the next video.